Hello, this is Pastor Rick, and I want to welcome you to this special edition of the Sunday Forum, these table talks that we're conducting all summer. We're excited to create these conversations about theological and moral issues in your homes, in your families, and among your friends. Our topic for this Sunday is a very special one. It is, now hold on here, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, and the power of the cross. Okay, I know that's a strange topic, but let me tell you how it happened. I am doing a Bible study, just my own private Bible study, on 1 Corinthians 1:18. But we're going to highlight today the whole chapter because it's a beautiful one. But I just want to read the one verse. I was reading, "For the message of the cross is foolishness to those who are perishing, but to us who are being saved, it is the power of God." So here Paul in 1 Corinthians is focusing on the power of God through Christ and Christ's death for us. Okay, I'm doing the Bible study, and then all of a sudden I get this news flash about Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk, who are now negotiating, now get this, to do a cage match together. A cage match. Basically, Elon Musk challenged Zuckerberg to a fight, literally a fight, and Zuckerberg agreed and responded to him and said, "You just pick the day and the place, and I'll be there." Okay, let me just explain first of all for everyone what is a cage fight, and here's the definition. And I don't know if you've seen it or not, but it's a brutal type of fighting, actually. It's a typically brutal competition combining elements of wrestling and boxing, but with relatively few rules and being conducted in a confined cage or space. So why would these two billionaires, who are on the top of their game as far as in industry, as far as some of the richest, they're some of the richest men in the world, they dominate the tech industry. They are powerful international leaders with massive name recognition. Why would these two billionaires agree to a cage fight together? Okay, why are these two billionaires wanting to fight one another? It's really kind of confusing in a way. Is it for money? Is it for power? Is it just because they have an internal grudge? Is it marketing their brand all over the world? There are all sorts of questions. But when I read this news release, I thought about another competition way back in 1973 between Billie Jean King and Bobby Riggs. Do you remember this? It was a tennis match. At that time, Bobby Riggs, he was in his 50s. Well, he said that men were always superior to women. Always. Even on the tennis court. And Billie Jean King was going to take him up, and they had this big match. It was not just to prove who was the best at tennis. It was obviously a fight for women's rights. And often we don't remember Bobby Riggs' name because Billie Jean King beat him, although he had beaten many of the top women pros of the day. But she beat him, and it was like a victory for women's rights. So now, let's go back to Zuckerberg and Elon Musk. Now, Elon Musk started this. He's 52 years old. He's much bigger than Zuckerberg, who is 39 years old, but they've both studied fight. And although they're both high in industry, some say, well, they're both deep competitors. They're frenemies. Although some say now they've become enemies because Zuckerberg has competing with Elon Musk even as far as Twitter, and Zuckerberg has now invented Thread, which is a competitor to Twitter. So on so many levels, okay, we see power at play. So first of all, I thought this was fake news. It had to be fake news. But then I saw the article in the New York Times that this competition, this cage match, is real. Now, I'm debating with myself about why I'm so fascinated with this news. On the one hand, I see it as a display of power, that there's a certain fascination I think we all have with power, whether that's the power of money, whether that's the power of industry or new ideas of technology, even military power. And to have so much power being willing to fight each other, well, it'd be fascinating. I don't respect either man or think of them very highly, but boy, I would watch that match. On the other hand, is this the way we're going to prove our manliness or our skill sets? Is this the way we're going to create progress in the world, is by fighting it out in a cage match? It seems quite foolish. Which is why we take a look at Paul again. And we turn back to 1 Corinthians 1, verses 17 and 18. And there he talks about foolishness, but in a very different way. Where he says, really, God is also about power, but power displayed through the cross of Christ. A very different kind of power. But the one that God is going to use to change you, is going to change me, and to change the world. And so the challenge for you to consider this week is to take 1 Corinthians chapter 1, where here Paul talks about the power of the cross, the power of God through Christ, and think about other forms of power that are out there and how they fascinate us, but in the end are also foolish and don't get the job done. The cross of Christ. Let's focus on that and meditate on that this week by yourselves and in your families. Thanks for joining us on the Sunday Forum. Bye-bye now.